Hey, your afternoon girlfriend Yvonne Daniels here. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a great day. Man, I tell you what, thank you for joining us for this special live stream. And if you are joining us, you are in for such a special treat. I can't even believe that this is happening. It's so wonderful. I've got before me Saginaw's own playwright and director, Miss Gleisha Wright Tatum. Gleisha, how are you doing this morning?
I am great and so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, this is an exciting time. I just, for folks that have already gotten their tickets for what we're going to talk about, good for you. If you don't get your tickets, because you're going to want to be a part of. First of all, let's talk about the fact that we've got Saginaw's first Black production company coming to the city, which is
Yay.
so exciting. It is called EVOC Productions, and Gleisha, please tell us what EVOC stands for.
Well, EVOC stands for Earthen Vessels of Color,
Yeah.
and we're all vessels, and the vessels that the voices I'm uplifting happen to be vessels of color,
Yeah.
and in that we are a place for those who would like to learn more about acting, directing, stage managing, all those things, get you really into theater as well as preparing you for film. That's what we're here for. But mainly, we're just uplifting those voices. Basically, all of this is that we're doing. First of all, it's what I love, but we're doing this to make sure people have a place to come when they want to break into theater, aren't sure how to do it. And to offer our people here in Saginaw, a lot of us run to other places, we won't name names, of bigger cities for plays and entertainment and a good evening out. And so we want that to happen right here in Saginaw. So Evoke's purpose is really to train and to prepare stories and to dig into the community for the stories that we have,
Yeah.
because we want to be, we want to control the narrative, basically, is
Yeah.
what it boils down to, of the stories that we tell of our rich history, our legacy, and what brought us to where we are now in the community and even in the nation, and across the globe. So we have
Especially
a
during a time where it seems like our history, our stories are trying to be erased,
absolutely.
uh, in schools and so many other places. And so this is an awesome time for this to be happening, for this production company to be happening. A couple of questions I have though for you. You say
Mhm.
you are training folks that want to get into this. Is there an age limit? Is there
Oh,
okay?
no, no age limit. I'm sorry. The first thing I
Uh,
think of is no. Sorry, I didn't mean
okay.
to cut you
And it's so funny because you are such a producer. You're such I mean, you're always just like looking at the little minute things. So if you're going to learn from anybody, Gleisha is a wonderful person to
Yeah.
learn about this. So the other thing I wanted to say is representation is so important. So that's why this is so powerful. It's so important for this production company, for this atmosphere. For you to be providing this. It's just it is just so awesome. And so a couple of things. I always say I say a couple. I should say 10 things, please.
They sound like
uh,
me.
we want to talk about the fact that I talk about how you're the perfect person and the perfect person to be leading this. How long have you been? Because I've been to so many of your plays. How long have you been a playwright, a producer, Gleisha?
Well, let me make a small correction. Miss Yvonne, you have actually
Yes,
been in one of my plays, if you
I've been
recall.
in. Well, okay,
You were a newscaster, but you were there and you were
right.
on the screen.
Well,
Yeah.
let me put it like this too. I know that you are always producing, you are always
Yeah.
having these plays in Saginaw and abroad. So I mean, but my whole point is that you've been doing this for a long
Yeah, yeah.
time.
I just wanted folks to know that you have been a supporter
I
for
yeah,
a long
well,
time.
okay, yeah.
You and Lady Vicky have
Yes.
been great supporters. You all were in a parking lot with me with police tape, lights, Officer Beatty. I think we used his flashlight for a
Yes.
microphone. It was crazy. So I mean,
Yes.
and I think that's the heart of what we do. It's the willingness to go above and beyond to do what seems not to be the norm.
Right.
There's a nice, neat box. I've never fit very well into it, ever, ever. I've been doing this since I was a teenager.
Okay.
I started in my church. A lot of people say that when they, make it big or whatnot, but that to me was making it big because my training was under people who were living the life that they preached about. They were walking alongside me, making sure that I was guided and
Yeah.
governed. And so I think without that, you kind of get especially with the arts, you have to be very careful because the arts deal with your imagination, the things you can think up, as
Yeah.
we see in media every day. The things that we see on screen started in somebody's mind, started
Yep.
in somebody's basement, started in somebody's
Hmm.
conversation. So I'm very watchful and very careful about what I allow to go into my spirit, whether I'm
Yes.
watching it, listening to it, because that is actually what filters through, and that's what I write about. That's how I
Hmm.
write.
Yeah.
So I was very blessed early on to have some really good mentors, if you will, and those came through. Of course, my mom, my number one fan for all time. Unfortunately, yesterday was actually Saturday was the anniversary of her being gone from us for 10 years,
Wow.
and I don't talk a lot about it because I'm still, and that's something we've dealt with even in our writing. It's grief and how
Hmm.
to cope.
Hmm.
My coping is telling my stories and telling other people's stories through the arts. So I've been doing that for a long time. But it was really my mom that Lydia Ann Wright, that would tell me you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I
Yeah.
believe that. She would rehearse it in the car no matter where we were going. If I
Hmm.
was playing a soccer game, you can do all things. I was saying, Mom, I'm just kicking a ball. She's like, but you can do all things.
That's
So that
right.
was just how she was about it. But she made me believe that I was capable. And we grew up with a lot of different things going on in the family. We had trauma, we had alcoholism, we had domestic violence, we had things that people don't talk about. I'm not ashamed of. It's what I came through. It's what made me who I am today.
Hmm.
It's what helped me make some of the choices that I made, some good, some bad, some good, some lessons. I won't say bad, but things that I've learned. So coming through that process and knowing the overcoming power
Yeah.
of someone believing in you. And I think for me, that's what brought me through those years and brought me here, all the way to where I believe Saginaw believes in what we're doing. It
Okay.
started with my mom, and
Yeah.
I believe it's here now with Saginaw. But that's why you all hear the train. That's actually a part of the story. So thank you,
Okay.
people with the train. That's a
Right.
part of our story. There's a train. The ghost of the yellow dog is a part of our story.
Okay.
And in rehearsal, sometimes the train will sound at the perfect time. It's crazy. But in any case, my biggest goal is to give people what I received from people like my mom and the
Yeah.
mentors, the pastors, the people that mentored me, walked me through difficult times, and
Mhm.
also to give them parts of what I did not receive.
Okay.
And there were times that it was really, really hard. And if
Mhm.
you don't know who you are or know what you have,
Mhm.
the scripture that I base EVOC on, Earthen Vessels of Color, is 2 Corinthians 4 and 7 that says, we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. And if I misquoted that, I'm going to have some scholars that'll call me, and that's fine. That's fine. Um, but um, but it's because we do have a treasure, Miss Yvonne, that a lot of times people never discover. First of all, if they don't see themselves on stage, you mentioned
Right.
representation.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for them to believe at times that that they can even begin this process. You don't know how many
Mhm.
people I talk to, and I'm asking, have you ever done any acting? And you can just see and feel in their personality that they would be incredible on stage, and they're like, oh no, 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 I don't. But I think that a lot of times people don't see themselves, and you mentioned earlier age. Depending on your age,
Mhm.
depending on your exposure, you may or may not believe that you belong on stage, as we say.
Yeah.
But that's what Evoke is here for, and that's what happened for me through the years. Is that people taught me that I had a place there,
Okay.
that I belonged, and I think
Mhm.
that we all really desperately want that, whether we show it, don't show it, mask it, keep it very subtle and excuse me, quiet within ourselves.
Mhm.
We have that longing to
Right.
belong, not everywhere, because we don't belong everywhere.
That's right.
We don't need to be everywhere.
Mhm.
And finding your people and finding your audience, for me, theater is my people.
Okay.
Film, cinema, putting stories on the screen, something you can sit with your family and watch, that you don't have
Yeah.
every other few minutes say, oh, just hit the volume, or let's skip forward. You don't have to do that.
Right.
Is a healthy, wholesome, clean theater, if I
Yeah.
can say it that way. We deal with real life. We're not in here singing kumbaya,
Right.
but we deal with real life.
Yeah.
But it's something that I really want families to gather around. And families come in all shapes
Yeah.
and sizes.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's a single mom. Sometimes it's a single dad. It's
Yeah.
a co-parenting situation. It's grandma.
Yep.
My mother, she was raising my nieces for a minute. Well, my sister had some issues going on. We all have issues going on.
Yeah.
But for me, Evoke has been in me since I was a little girl. Um, I believe in talking to somebody.
Hmm.
We did the family car and we talked about, we try to help normalize therapy.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody. It's, people don't use the term crazy, and I don't always fit real neatly into the politically correct box, but I do try to be conscious of
Yeah.
not offending people. But I will say that back in the day, especially in the Black community, going to see a therapist or someone, they thought you were crazy. And then folks came up with the saying, it's the crazy folks that don't go see somebody. So I
Hmm.
use the word crazy in the sense of where it has come from, not in my,
Right.
current vocab, but I would
Right.
say, you need to talk to somebody. And for me, in trying to normalize how people cope,
Yeah.
it's what we are doing through Evoke. This is a
Hmm.
way to get it out, to
Yeah.
walk it through, to find your spot, your place, your story.
Hmm.
And you do that through characters
Right.
that make you feel safer
Yeah.
to be angry in this character's voice
Hmm. Right.
than you losing it,
Right.
to be vulnerable
Yeah.
in this character's
Right.
voice and physicality than you going home to where you may not feel as safe
That's
to
right.
express those things. So you can express them here on stage. And that's a huge thing. So through the years, it's been, I say a teenager, so I'll date myself because I know I look like I'm 25, but let me clear it up for the people. I will be on opening night turning 58 years old. So
What a
I've been,
blessing. What a
yeah, right,
blessing.
right. I
Yeah.
used to go through changes. I'm like, I ain't
Yeah.
got nobody to impress. Why am I concerned about a number? I'm thankful to be A, in the land of the living, and B, to have invested in me and in the impartations I've been blessed with spiritually and naturally to
Yeah.
be walking this thing out, even at, and I say even at, but at this stage of life, I
Yeah.
feel uniquely positioned to do it now after
Yeah.
all these years of
That's
what's
right.
that, 40 years. Dang,
Yeah.
40 years.
That's a blessing. 40
Ooh, I
years
need
of
something to
wisdom.
drink.
It's a wisdom.
But I hope and pray so. But but I've just learned from older people all my life. My mother was one who just loved older people. We'd stop by after church and visit folks all the time. We could never just go straight home, and
Right.
we'd sit on porches and go inside and check on folks. And so growing up around older people, you do learn some sense, as they say.
Hmm.
But what I learned about being older is that you're not finished. You're just getting started. So as you mentioned about age, if you're in my age group in your 50s, if you're almost 60, if you're in your 60s, in your 70s, and we did a Raisin in the Sun at Midland Center for the Arts, and we had Deborah Edwards, who I believe I know she's in her 70s, hadn't been
Okay.
on the stage in 20 years, and she brought the house down. She killed
Wow.
it. And the
Yeah.
stages that she went through in preparing had both of us concerned for about 5 minutes. I was like, well, okay, well, we in this now. But I watched her
Yeah.
allow us
Yeah.
to provide a brave and a safe space for her to
Right.
get reacclimated to the stage and to
Okay.
grow. So we all need each other's support.
Yeah.
And we have babies that come here, and I call them babies, but people that are, our children that are 12 and 8 and 10, and even our teenagers. Like my son's 15, he's still a baby to me.
Hmm.
But people have trusted me with their kids for a long time,
Yeah.
working through First Ward Community Center, working at Bridgeport, at Atkins and so forth, even in our church, teaching Sunday school and things like that. And I'm not like, super nanny. I'm not that, lady that's just, I get with the kids. I let them
Right.
know this is how it is.
Yes.
I don't, but at the same time, they've taught me, and parents have trusted me with their
Yeah.
kids and with their children. And so when they come to theater, a lot of children don't feel that they belong, especially when they
Right.
come to those awkward stages. So we're hoping, and we've seen it happen, where they come in just really closed up, but willing. There's
Mhm.
something inside they know they want to do,
Yeah.
and then they feel safe. And I remember the first time the young lady who's playing Maritha, and I'll say this, and this will be it for this answer, I guess. But I remember her coming in and being very, very quiet.
Hmm.
She'd grown. We auditioned for this play last August of
Okay.
25.
Okay.
So since that, she'd gotten taller, she'd grown, and she's starting to come through her developmental stages where a little more quiet, a little more reserved.
Hmm.
And in that, which is also her personality, which some of the
Okay.
best actors are that way. So I have
Yeah.
no concern for that. But I remember the first time after maybe 4 rehearsals, maybe 5, that before she left, said, I love you guys. And she hugged someone. And that just, I almost
Yeah.
lost it because I was very quiet with it, but I noticed it. I
Yeah.
started seeing her open up. And
Hmm.
that doesn't come because there's a formula
Right.
or because there's a box.
Hmm.
That comes because you allow people to be themselves
Yeah.
and, um, and create an environment where they feel safe to make mistakes
All right.
A lot of times we don't give our kids that permission, but
Yeah.
safe to make mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
and to feel that in their mistakes they can
Yeah.
grow from it, and we
Mm-hmm.
got you.
Yeah.
Like, none of us are perfect. We're not in here because I'm not the only person doing black theater, or the only person even in the city that's
Right.
producing, these stories, and I'm one of. I
Right.
did do my part, but I always love it when people feel safe where they are.
Yeah.
I need to feel safe. We all need that at some
Yeah.
point. So it's a long history of that, of being made to feel safe, and
Mhm.
also now being that person in a generative way of, hoping that I'm creating that for other people, along with the partners and the collaborations and so forth, that are helping me do that.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna come back to the partner, but also Black Stories, this is the first Black production company, but this is for anyone,
Oh
any
yeah.
color, anyone, because we need everybody to help tell these stories
Oh
as
yeah.
well. So everyone is welcome to be a part. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. We have, in the script, this August Wilson script, there's not necessarily, a main character that's not of color,
Okay.
but there are surrounding communities that we're always a part of, that we're immersed in, that involve our Hispanic community,
Yeah.
which my heart goes out to right now. It's
Yes.
a whole nother
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
And then also our white community, and Asian community. And our and I'm going to probably mess this up. My daughter tells me I'm horrible with naming culture, so I'm not going to. How about
Okay.
that? I'll say the Islamic community is a
Okay.
part. We
Yeah.
interact with people from all kinds of backgrounds, countries,
Okay.
ethnicities. I'll put it that way.
Hmm.
And we all have very rich stories to tell.
Yeah.
And the best of us is in all of us, not in just one or two of
That's
us.
right.
So
Hmm.
absolutely, you're welcome at EVOC. I say Black Theater Company because there are theater companies that do not focus on Black stories and
Right.
seldom tell them.
Hmm.
And I found that to be the case through the years. It's not always because of some negative reason, or some if I can just say, some racial issue. It's
Hmm.
not. A lot of
Right.
times when we pay to do a show, we pay for the license to do a show. You want to know that you can cast that show.
Yeah.
If you're not receiving folks at your auditions that are people of color, then you're not confident that you can cast
Right.
that show.
Okay.
So there's legitimacy on both sides.
Right.
So a lot of times that's a part of the reason as well. I know that to be the case.
Yeah.
We'll talk about later, but that's a part of why I exist in Evoke, is to make it a place where people feel more confident in
Yeah.
their ability to get on that stage, or to get
Yeah.
in front of the camera, and know that they have the chops, that they know what the lingo is, they know stage directions, they know, what to do with the craft, at least on some level that gets them prepared for their first.
Yeah.
And then you learn by doing. You learn by
Right. Yeah.
getting into the show. You don't wait to go to the hospital if you're feeling better. You get in there when you're at whatever
Yeah.
condition you're in, and then they nurse you back, or they get you prepared to get healthier and stronger. Um, so yeah, it's for everybody. And we had a joke the other day, and actually it was just yesterday, and someone said this, and I'll share it with you guys. I think it was not nice, but I'll share it. And they said, "How are you going to say this is an all black cast, and the director ain't even all black?"
Wow.
Excuse me. But it was mainly because, in our family, I've always gone by black my whole life, and I'm not
Yeah.
offended by black. I don't say African American, but I'm not offended by that either.
Right.
Uh, Black to me is representative of a world, of a
Hmm.
culture, of
Yeah.
people that I love and adore, and myself is included. I
Hmm.
embrace myself, my blackness. But then also, in my family, we have indigenous people. I don't say Native American. I don't think you could be native to something that didn't exist before you did. So I say indigenous people.
Okay.
But then also we have Caucasian. We have white folks in the family. It's
Okay.
people have hazel eyes, and back in the day would pass, as they say,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
forth. It's just a combination, and it's all beautiful. So no,
Yes.
our doors are open wide. The stories that we choose to focus on
Hmm.
have to do with the diaspora of people of color,
Yeah.
of our lineage, of the things that have affected us, the things
Yeah.
that are imbalanced, the things that we need to raise consciousness of, about, and awareness of. So that's our focus. As time unfolds, we will see ourselves, and I know this because I know me, and I know the stories that I want to tell. I know in time we'll begin to tell stories that are connected to ours, but
Hmm.
may have a different focus in terms of another culture and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because somehow, some way, every day we're connected in that way.
Yes.
So you
Hmm.
can't tell one story without tapping into
That's
another
right.
story, because
Yeah.
they all affect each other, right? So,
So
so that,
let's talk about this first inaugural production. of
Yes.
EVOC Productions, which takes
Yay.
place actually this Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
It is August Wilson's The Piano Lesson. So exciting. And folks can come out. Let me just say, too, that just hearing you talk about all this, just the warmth I'm feeling in my heart, just about the inclusivity, of everyone that, everyone that's welcome to be a part of the production. Everyone is welcome to come out and see this inaugural production. This is just the beginning of something just so amazing. So tell us, give us, well, we've got the information about the date, which is once again this Friday and Saturday. What time is the production on both days?
The production begins at 7:30.
Okay.
I believe the doors open at 6:30.
Okay.
It is a general admission, general seating, so it is
Okay.
first come, first serve. So your
Okay.
seats aren't reserved.
Okay.
There are reserved seats for the VIP
Yeah.
because we have the launch that's happening next door at Signature 808, which I'm super excited about. Miss Brandy, just love Miss
Okay.
Brandy, which we can talk about that. But so we'll have a roped off area reserved for our VIP folks.
Okay.
But no, it's general admission. It
Yeah.
starts at I think 6:30. We're going to open the doors, and that's for both nights.
Okay. Okay. So you can see where you can get your tickets. You all are
Mhm.
partnering. This is going to be, shown at the performers at Pit and Balcony, which is we love Pit and Balcony in our
Yes,
community. We're
ma'am.
so thankful that they're here. But that's who you all are partnering with for this production on Friday and Saturday. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And so, you know, I can't wait to see it. I haven't decided if I'm coming. I may come Friday and Saturday. I don't know. I just kind of feel like,
That'd
but
be
this is so
lovely.
awesome. And so the performers that you have, are these all folks that are from Saginaw? Do you have folks from different areas? Are folks gonna be able to look up on stage and be like, girl, is that Charlene up there?
Yes, 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 yes. They can say that's Myra Jean. I know
Right.
my. He work at Walmart. So I'm going to say we have had a great time casting this show, but we also had people whose lives have changed. Folks have had babies. People have gone back to school. People have graduated from school. Lots of great
Okay.
things. So
Yeah.
we reached outside of Saginaw. The majority, I would say 80% is Saginaw talent. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Hands down. And I won't start naming names because I'm going to mess up, but I will
Right.
say some great Saginaw talent for sure,
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
and old. We do have some cast from Detroit, the
Okay.
Detroit area,
Mhm.
and they were sort of we referred, what am I trying to say? They were sent to us, if I just
Yeah.
say that it was, from people who had been here for many plays and been and taken roles and
Yeah.
been part of these plays for years. And so this is sort of legacy still because they would send us folks and when they couldn't be a part. And that has worked out beautifully,
Yeah.
beautifully. So we have two young men here from Detroit. And one of our stars, Miss Nicole Dixon, she is Flint resident,
Okay.
and she was our main character in Family Car. And people who saw her there will absolutely love her here. She's full of fire, but this is Saginaw talent for the most part.
Yeah.
And again, it's inclusivity. So we're looking at our region and our surrounding areas, and there's always support. And
Yeah.
in theater, that's always the case. When you cast a show, you cast it first at home. And
Mhm.
then hopefully you've got as many actors as you can get right here in your neighborhood.
Right.
And then you reach out
Yeah.
because you want the show to push forward, of course. And
Yeah.
so you reach out to those and people that love you and say, "Girl, I'll be there. I got
Right.
you."
Right.
And so that's a part of this casting. But it's can sometimes be a quick, easy process. Other times it
Mhm.
takes a little longer. But
Okay.
we're happy with the cast and very thrilled with what the work that they're doing. They're fantastic. You won't be disappointed. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I remember when you said the family, I was like, "Yeah, I loved the family car." I remember when
Yes,
that
ma'am.
was yeah, that was so whoever you're talking about as the lead, I probably when I see her, I'm gonna say,
Oh,
"Yes,
yeah.
I remember
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
Nicole
remember
is
her."
incredible.
So once again, Gleisha, and I know this wasn't just you. I know this is probably your vision,
Mhm.
your baby, your brainchild, but it takes so many people to make something like this happen. And so we just thank you for having the courage, for having the vision to bring something like this to Saginaw. And I know folks, when they see this and after hearing this conversation, they're probably going to be like, you know what? I've always thought about doing a little acting. I don't know. I might can do a little something, something, and having a space like this, where you're almost invited, welcomed in. Because a lot of times, too, I think people don't do or think they can't do something because maybe they haven't been invited, haven't been welcomed into that space. And so that's what you're doing as well. And so I know you'll have opportunities for people that have even thought about, have the idea that maybe they could do something in this acting world. You're giving them that space, and you will, I'm sure, let them know of any opportunities when you are seeking performers for some of your other great productions, because there's many more to come.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, when we have our launch, we definitely will have a QR code they can scan.
Okay.
We'll give them an opportunity to sign up and to let us
Okay.
know of the interest, the area they're interested in,
Yep.
and we will reach out to them immediately.
Yeah.
We have workshops and classes, but most importantly, our next production will be on deck, and we'll
Okay.
start casting for that right away, auditioning and casting for that
Yeah.
right away. So there's space for all ages, and
Oh,
it's going to be
yeah.
incredible.
That's so wonderful. EVOC Productions, Earthen Vessels of Color.
Yes.
Earthen Vessels of Color. Oh,
Okay. Uh-oh, she froze up for a second. Uh-oh, I may have lost her, or she lost me, I'm not sure. Mm-mm. She went away. Okay.